Leaves burst apart as a massive silverback exploded from thick brush, sending terrified monkeys scrambling through tangled branches. Nothing challenged its charge. Nothing stood still. That terrifying moment explains why you should be terrified of gorillas, nature's most deadly killing machine. Incredible strength alone is not what makes these giants so dangerous. Hidden instincts, explosive reactions, and shocking encounters have left experienced trackers frozen with fear inside Africa's darkest forests. Tonight, you will discover astonishing truths many people never hear. Before we begin, tell us where you are watching from, then like, subscribe, and stay because everything changes after the first encounter. Everything changes after the first encounter because fear does not come from size alone. It comes from knowing what that enormous body can do once it decides you are a threat. Deep inside Africa's rainforests, the silverback rules without needing sharp claws or deadly fangs. Pure muscle is enough. An adult male can weigh more than 400 pounds, yet it moves far faster than most people expect. Thick arms, powerful shoulders, and a solid chest let it climb steep hills, tear apart heavy plants, and break strong branches with little effort. Every movement saves energy until danger appears. Then everything happens at once. Scientists have long studied gorilla muscles because they produce incredible force. Their arms are much longer than ours, giving every swing extra power. One strike can knock down another large animal. A powerful bite can crush hard plants, crack thick stems, and cause terrible injuries if used during defense. Fortunately, attacks on people remain uncommon because gorillas usually avoid conflict whenever possible. That peaceful side surprises many visitors. A silverback spends much of the day eating leaves, fruit, shoots, and bark while younger members play nearby. Calm behavior, however, should never be mistaken for weakness. The leader watches every sound, every smell, and every movement entering the group space. Nothing escapes its attention for long. Family means everything to a gorilla troop. Mothers protect babies with endless care, while the silverback stands between danger and every member behind him. He settles arguments, chooses resting places, decides when the troop moves, and keeps everyone together. Years of experience allow him to recognize risks before others notice them. That is why younger gorillas trust his decisions without question. Warning signs appear long before an attack begins. A silverback may stare without blinking. He can stand upright until his full height becomes impossible to ignore. Powerful hands beat against his chest, creating booming sounds that echo through the forest. Short charges often follow. Dirt flies beneath enormous feet. Bushes shake. Small trees bend aside. Most threats retreat before real contact ever happens. Sometimes they do not. When another male refuses to back away, the forest turns into an arena. Roars explode through the trees. Bodies collide with crushing force. Arms grab, shove, and throw. Powerful teeth become weapons of last resort. These battles rarely happen for fun. Territory, leadership, and family protection drive every decision. Winning means safety. Losing can mean exile, serious injury, or death. Researchers who've witnessed these clashes often describe the silence afterward as the most unsettling part. Broken branches cover the ground. Fresh footprints circle crushed plants. Blood occasionally marks the leaves. The fight ends quickly, yet its message lasts much longer. Every animal nearby understands exactly who controls that piece of forest. Still, raw strength is not the greatest advantage a gorilla possesses. Something far less obvious makes experienced trackers respect them even more. And that is where the real story begins. Muscle can win a fight, but the mind decides when that fight happens. A silverback does not waste energy proving strength every minute. Instead, it watches, listens, and judges every situation before making a move. That quiet patience is one reason surviving in its territory demands respect. Most days pass without violence. Young gorillas wrestle across the forest floor while mothers gather food nearby. Older members rest beneath thick trees, always staying close enough to protect one another. Everything feels peaceful. Then a single mistake can change the entire mood within seconds. Perhaps another silverback wanders too close. Maybe an unfamiliar scent drifts through the trees. Sometimes a loud noise breaks the silence without warning. Whatever causes the alarm, every member of the troop reacts immediately. Infants rush toward their mothers. Females pull youngsters behind them. The silverback steps forward alone. He does not attack right away. First comes the warning. A hard stare locks onto the stranger. Loud grunts roll through the forest. Massive hands slam against a broad chest again and again. Leaves shake. Birds explode into the sky. The display is not random. It is a final chance for the intruder to leave before violence begins. If that warning fails, everything changes. The charge is incredibly fast. Thick muscles drive the silverback across the ground with shocking speed. Powerful arms swing forward as the distance disappears. Every step carries enough force to flatten bushes and snap small branches beneath heavy feet. The goal is not revenge. It is simple. Remove the threat before it reaches the family. Field researchers have documented these moments for decades. Many describe the same pattern. Gorillas rarely search for conflict, yet they almost never retreat once they believe danger has become real. That commitment makes them unpredictable to anyone who misunderstands their behavior. People have learned this lesson the hard way. Experienced guides always tell visitors one rule above every other. Never challenge a silverback. Do not shout. Do not run. Do not stare directly into its eyes for too long. Those actions may seem harmless to us, but the gorilla can read them very differently. A misunderstanding inside thick forest leaves very little time to react. Even predators understand those signals. Leopards, forest buffalo, and other large animals usually avoid healthy adult gorillas whenever possible. An unnecessary fight can end with broken bones, deep wounds, or death. Nature rewards survival, not reckless bravery. Yet the jungle does not always follow simple rules. Hunger changes decisions. Desperation changes risks. Opportunity changes everything. Somewhere beyond the trees, another hunter waits without making a sound. It does not challenge the silverback face to face. It studies. It follows. It searches for one careless moment when confidence becomes weakness. That is the difference between an animal protecting its family and one searching for its next meal. One fights only when forced. The other hunts whenever the reward is worth the risk. When those two worlds finally collide, the forest becomes a place where even the strongest creature can suddenly find itself fighting for survival. And that deadly meeting reveals a truth few people ever expect. The strongest animal in the forest is not always the one that wins. Survival is not decided only by size, muscle, or power. Sometimes the outcome depends on timing, patience, and the ability to strike before the opponent even understands the danger. Deep in Africa's forests, one predator has mastered that strategy better than almost any other. The leopard does not rely on strength alone. It survives through silence, speed, and perfect timing. Compared with a silverback gorilla, the leopard looks almost fragile. A large male gorilla can outweigh it by hundreds of pounds. One direct clash would be a dangerous gamble. But the leopard does not fight like a gorilla. It does not stand in the open. It does not announce its presence. It does not test its opponent's power. Instead, it watches from the shadows, waiting for the exact moment when the balance changes. A separated animal, a distracted group member, or a sleeping target can create an opportunity that strength cannot prevent. This is why experienced researchers respect the leopard so much. The animal is built for surprise. Its body is designed to move quietly through thick vegetation. Sharp claws grip with incredible control. Strong jaws deliver powerful bites. Every part of its anatomy serves one purpose: catching prey before the victim can respond. The gorilla's greatest weapon is its strength. The leopard's greatest weapon is knowing when to use its own. That difference changes everything. A silverback depends on awareness, protection, and physical dominance. The leopard depends on patience and timing. Both animals are perfectly designed for their worlds, but they follow completely different rules. One protects, the other hunts. For years, many people believed adult gorillas had no real predators. Their size seemed impossible to challenge. Their intelligence made them even harder to surprise. Why would any animal risk attacking a creature capable of causing devastating injuries? But nature rarely follows human expectations. Predators do not think like people. They do not ask whether something looks dangerous. They measure opportunity. A weak moment, a hidden approach, or a mistake can completely change the situation. Across parts of Central Africa, researchers have recorded unusual encounters between gorillas and leopards. Some reports describe signs of attacks. Others show evidence of competition between two powerful animals trying to survive in the same environment. These moments are rare, but they reveal something important about the wild. No creature is completely untouchable. Even a giant must sleep. Even a leader must lower its guard. Even the strongest body has vulnerable points. That does not make the gorilla weak. Far from it. A healthy silverback remains one of the most powerful animals on land. A leopard knows that a careless attack could become its final mistake. The forest is not a simple battle between good and evil. It is a constant calculation. Every animal is making choices based on hunger, danger, and survival. The question is not whether the gorilla is powerful. It is. The real question is what happens when unstoppable force meets a predator that refuses to fight fairly. The gorilla is not a monster. It is a masterpiece of nature, built with incredible strength, intelligence, and instinct. But even the strongest survivors have limits. The wild teaches one lesson: respect every creature. Thank you for watching this journey. Subscribe for more dark wildlife documentaries where nature's secrets unfold.